Used to sit out on the stoop till the street lights came on. Nobody had a dollar, but we had each other, that's a fact. Summers felt like they would never end back then. Now every one of us is grown and scattered to the wind. The corner store don't even look the same no more. New faces run the block that used to be our whole world. I drive past sometimes just to feel that old feeling. Some things you can't get back, but the memory keeps healing. We had a language nobody else could understand. Half a look and we already knew the plan. Now we catch up once a year, if we catch up at all. Life just poured us different directions, that's the way it falls. I ain't mad about it, that's just how the story goes. Roads split up, but the roots are still the roots that grow. Every laugh we ever shared still living somewhere in my chest. That's the kind of thing that time can never lay to rest. Old faces, old places, still living in my mind. We ain't talked in years, but the love's still intertwined. Life just pulled us different ways. That's how it's supposed to go. Old faces, stay with me wherever that I go. I ran into one of them last year at the store. We talked for 20 minutes like no time had passed before. His kids were with him, mine was somewhere else that day. Funny how the years just find their own way to replay. We don't need to force it just to prove that it's still real. Some bonds don't need contact to keep their kind of seal. I think about the version of myself I used to be. Half of who I am was built by who was next to me. Not everybody stays, but everybody leaves a mark. Some taught me how to laugh, some taught me how to spark. I carry pieces of them in the way I move today. The lessons outlive whether or not we stay. So if you're reading this and we ain't spoken in a while, know I think about you every time I pass that style. No hard feelings, no beef, just the way that seasons turn. Grateful for the fire even after all it burned. Old faces, old places, still living in my mind. We ain't talked in years, but the love's still intertwined. Life just pulled us different ways. That's how it's supposed to go. Old faces, stay with me wherever that I go. My son is getting old enough to build his own crew now. I hope he holds them close the way we didn't know how. I wanna tell him people come and people go with time, but the ones who shaped you never really leave your mind. I used to think that growing up meant losing what you had. Now I understand it's just a natural way it's laid. Nothing lasts forever, but that don't mean it wasn't real. Some of the realest things I know I only felt. Don't see if I can find them all right now. I shake every hand, tell them thank you for the version of me I understand. We built something in that block that nobody can erase. Even when the building's gone, I still can see the place. So here's to everybody who was ever in my corner, whether we still talk or whether time has made us strangers. The love was real, the days were real, the laughs are still alive. That's enough for me to carry for the rest of my life. Old faces, old places, still living in my mind. We ain't talked in years, but the love's still intertwined. Life just pulled us different ways. That's how it's supposed to go. Old faces, stay with me wherever that I go. Old faces, old faces, still with me. Old faces, old faces, still with me. Yeah, roots and influence. That's the whole design. Roots and influence. Yeah, written in the rhyme, carry through the sound. That's the only proof. Roots and influence. That's the truth. Before I had a pen, I had a pair of secondhand speakers. Before I had a style, I had 100 different teachers. Didn't know their names, but I could hum every one of their horns. Didn't know it then, but that's the day my sound was born. My roots ain't just a bloodline. They're a crate of dusty vinyl. Every skip and pop a language that I had to learn is final. Grew up in the silence between two turntables spinning. Learned that every ending in the loop is just beginning. Wasn't born into it, I was drawn into the pull. Something in the bass line that made the empty feel full. My roots run through the corner store to block the radio dial. Every station I stumbled on became another mile. I didn't choose this the way you choose a career? It shows me the first time that a snare hit clear. So when you ask my roots, I can't give one address. Roots and influence. That's the whole design. Roots and influence. Written in the rhyme, carried through the sound. That's the only proof. Roots and influence. That's the truth. I owe a debt to voices that I never got to meet. Men who made a loop feel like a heartbeat underneath my feet. I learned restraint from producers who knew when to leave space. I learned that silence is an instrument, not empty space. I learned from rappers who could paint a block in 16 bars. Learned the difference between chasing clout and chasing stars. Every scratch I heard as a kid became a kind of scripture. Every dusty record was a frame around a picture. I ain't invent nothing, I just carry what was handed. That's not a weakness, that's the whole tradition working. Standing on the shoulders of the ones who kept it working. In the underground where credit rarely comes attached, I'm just adding one more thread to something bigger patch. So if you hear a little of them living in my flow, that's on purpose. That's my thank you, plain and true. Roots and influence. That's the whole design. Roots and influence. Written in the rhyme, carried through the sound. That's the only proof. Roots and influence. That's the truth. Now I'm the one my son hears bumping through the wall. Wonder if a loop of mine will be the one that starts it all. Funny how the roots that raised me turn into the seeds I'm planting. Influence ain't a circle, it's a river, always constant. I don't need my name remember louder than the sound. Just need a feeling that made me to keep getting passed around. Every record that I make is a letter to the culture. Half a thank you, half a prayer that somebody else discovers. A sound that understood me, no questions asked. That's the whole point of the underground, that's the whole design. Not the fame, just the passing of a torch from mind to mind. So here's to every dusty record that raised me from the ground. Here's to every artist whose influence I finally found. I'm just Barbara Light and echo, wrapped in flesh and rhyme. Everything I ever was is playing all the time. Roots and influence. That's the whole design. Roots and influence. Written in the rhyme, carried through the sound. That's the only proof. Roots and influence, that's the truth. Roots and influence. Still playing. Still playing. Roots and influence. Still playing. Roots and influence. Still playing. Roots and influence. Still playing, playing. Purple light is leaking through the blinds again tonight. Everything is slower when the room forgets the time. I ain't chasing nothing, I'm just floating in my head. Every thought's a firework going off inside instead. The haze don't hide me, it just softens up the edges. Makes the whole apartment feel like standing on a ledge of somewhere calmer than the world outside my window. Every worry loosens up and drifts off like a shadow. I ain't running from the night, I'm just letting myself feel it. Letting all the noise get quiet till I finally seal it. Some nights the mind needs a minute to just wander free. No destination, just a drifter who I used to be. This the kind of quiet that don't feel like being alone. More like visiting the version of myself I used to own. Every spark behind my eyes is just a private show. Nobody's invited, but the feeling's good to know.
Sparkle smoke, rising slow through the night.
Sparkle smoke,
everything golden in the light.
It don't last,
but it's beautiful while it's here.
Sparkle smoke,
that's the story of it here.
Windows down in the city's wearing all his jewelry. Every sign is glowing like it's begging you to see. Streets look prettier at night than they do in the day. Maybe it's the neon or the shadows that it makes. Everybody looking good, but nobody looking home. Glamour on the surface, but a quiet undertone. I love the city even when it don't love me back. There's a kind of loneliness that only comes with tracks of lights reflecting off the wet street after rain. Beautiful and empty in almost the same frame. This the kind of nightlife that looks perfect in a photo. I ain't complaining, this the life that I chose too. That's the city for you, dressed up in the best, sparkling on the outside, a little tired underneath the rest. Yeah.
Sparkle smoke rising slow through the night.
Sparkle smoke,
Sparkle smoke, everything golden in the light.
it don't last.
It don't last, but it's beautiful while it's here.
Sparkle smoke,
Sparkle smoke, that's the story of the year.
Me and my whole crew used to think we had forever. Didn't know back then that forever ain't together. Golden days don't announce themselves when they arrive. You only see the shine of them looking back with time. I miss the version of us before the world got heavy, before the calendar started to feel like it was already running out on something we ain't never gonna get again. Some things you only get to live inside once, my friend. I don't regret the ending, I just miss the middle part. The nights that felt like nothing but ended up being art. Everything that sparkled eventually turns to smoke. That's not sad, that's just the deal that living folks have always had to make with time and how it moves. You get the shine, you get the fade, you don't get to choose. So here's to everything that glow before it had to go. The brightest things are usually the quickest ones to show.
Sparkle smoke rising slow through the night.
Sparkle smoke,
Sparkle smoke, everything golden in the light.
it don't last.
It don't last, but it's beautiful while it's here.
Sparkle smoke,
Sparkle smoke, that's the story of the year. Sparkle smoke, fading slow. Sparkle smoke, fading slow.
yeah. Everybody got a hideout where the clock forgets to run. Mine is on the rooftop with a lukewarm setting sun. No agenda, no appointment, and no place I gotta be. Just the sound of my own breathing in the city under me. Some folks find their peace inside a crowded city train. Some folks need a shoreline and the whisper of the rain. Me, I take the quiet in the corner of my mind. The only kind of freedom that a busy man can find. The week was full of static, full of noise I did not choose. So today I turn the volume down and slip into my shoes that do not go no faster than a stroll around the block. The kind of afternoon when nobody's watching the clock. Everybody needs a day the world cannot demand. A pocket of the calendar that no one else is planned. Whatever way you take it, on a couch or on a train, the point is that you take it before you go insane. Everybody get your holiday, take it how you need it. However that you rest your mind, nobody gonna beat it. This one right here for the workers and the dreamers taking pause. Take your holiday, you earned it, that is the only law. Yo, my version might look nothing like the one that you enjoy. You go loud and social, I go quiet and coy. You hit the beach and party while I read a dusty book. Neither one is better, it is just the way we look at what it means to rest and what recharges the machine. For you it is the ocean, for me it is the in-between. The moments that I steal from all the running of the days. We each deserve our version and we take it different ways. Some pray on a Sunday, some just sleep into the noon. Some drive out to the mountain just to howl up at the moon. Some cook a slow meal, some do absolutely nothing. And nothing is a luxury when your whole week was something. I do not judge the way you spend the freedom that you earned, as long as you protect it after everything you learned about the way this world will take your minutes if you let it. Your day off is your own, do not you ever forget it. Everybody get your holiday, take it how you need it. However that you rest your mind, nobody gonna beat it. This one right here for the workers and the dreamers taking pause. Take your holiday, you earned it, that is the only law. That is the only law. Yeah. Let me tell you what I learned about about the value of a pause. It is not about the laziness, it is a natural law. The field that grows forever is the field that turns to dust. You gotta let it rest sometimes, recovery is a must. So I take my quiet morning and I guard it like a gem. The world can have my hustle, but it cannot have all of them. The hours where I disappear and no one knows my name. The peaceful little island in the middle of the game. My son will need his own one when the pressure starts to mount. I hope he learns to take it, learns to make it stillness count. Not everything is grind and not everything is speed. Sometimes the bravest thing to do is rest the way you need. So however you escape it, in the garden of a car, on the quiet Sunday morning underneath the distant star. Take the time that you are owed and let the busy world go by. We all deserve a corner of the calendar and sky. Everybody get your holiday, take it how you need it, however that you rest your mind. Nobody gonna beat it. This one right here for the workers and the dreamers taking pause. Take your holiday, you earned it. That is the only law. Take your holiday. Take your holiday. Take it slow. Take your holiday. Take it slow. Yeah. Yeah. Pour it black in the morning and I take it how it comes. No additives, no fillers, and no sugar on my tongue. This life was never candy, though they market it that way. I take the honest version of the truth I face each day. They want it all sweetened up, the water down the sea. Some flavor on the struggle, so the lie goes down discreet. But I would rather swallow it exactly how it lands. The unsweetened reality is held in these two hands. You can dress a story up until it does not read as true. You can frost it and you sell it and a million people chew. But I refuse the top and I refuse the easy lie. I take the bitter honest and I look it in the eye. The smoothness of this groove is not the smoothness of my road. I carried every hard mile and I never sold the low for something that was soft and what the journey really meant. The realest things are strong and dark and never sugar scented.
No sugar, no cream.
We take it real.
We take it real.
No sugar.
No sugar, no cream. This is how we feel.
Strong.
Strong and true.
We rise.
We rise with the sun. No sugar, no cream.
We are
the ones.
Yo. The realest things arrive without a thing to make them nice. The lessons that you swallow at a cold and honest price. No garnish on the wisdom and no frosting on the fact. The truth does not need flavor, it just needs to stay intact. They sold me easy answers my entire growing life. The shortcut and the comfort and the painless kind of strife. But none of it was real enough to hold me when I fell. The hard and sweet truth is what I learned to carry well. And over time I grew to love it strong and undisguised. The way it does not flatter, the way it never lied about exactly what it costs to live an honest day. Strong and dark and steady, that is how I move and stay. The mellow of this music is a contrast I designed. The softness in the sound, the hard truth in the mind. That is the real existence, sweet and brutal intertwined. The chilled and honest morning of the life I left behind.
No sugar, no cream.
We take it real.
We take it real.
No sugar.
No sugar, no cream. This is how we feel.
Strong.
Strong and true.
We rise.
We rise with the sun. No sugar, no cream.
We are
the ones.
Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why I take my whole life with no thing to hide. Because the truth deserves to hit me clean.
No sweet inside.
The comfort is a costume that the honest never wear. I would rather feel the hard thing than pretend it is not there. The candy-coated version of a life is sticky and it fades. The honest bitter version is the one that never trades itself for something easier. It stands the strong and true. The unembellished real is what I always come back to. My son will face the hard part when his easy days run out. I hope he meets it head on. Learn learns what living is about. Not the top and they will offer, not the cream to dull the sting. The honest, unsweet, and truth is everything I bring. So here is to the realest, to the ones who take it straight. No additives, no fantasy, no sweetened up escape. Just the dark and honest flavor of the life that we redeem. Strong and real and steady is the only way I dream.
No sugar, no cream.
We take it real.
We take it real.
No sugar,
no sugar, no cream. This is how we feel.
Strong,
strong and true.
We rise
with the sun. No sugar, no cream.
We are
the ones. No sugar, no cream. No sugar, no cream.
We are.
No sugar, no cream. We are the ones.
Soul in the shadows, that is where the realest ones reside. No spotlight on the frequency, but nothing left to hide. The light has not arrived yet, but the work was always true. Soul in the shadows, that is me and that is you. Been making this for decades with no audience in sight. Not for the validation, just because the thing was right. The ones who need the spotlight to confirm they are alive were never in the shadows long enough to really thrive. The shadow is the laboratory, that is where it gets made. Before the world is ready, before the dues are fully paid. Every soul that ever mattered spent some time below the line. Soul in the shadows, and the shadows are just fine, because the soul does not require the light to be the truth. The proof is in the making, not in any outside proof. I got soul in the shadows, and it does not need a stage. The realest thing is written on the unread page.
Soul in the shadows.
Soul
in the shadows.
Soul in the shadows.
Soul in the shadows.
Yo, the spotlight is a liar. It shows you what to see, but the realest soul was always in the shadows next to me. The heads who never charted, never trended, never blew, but carried more authentic soul than anyone you knew. I would rather have the shadows and the substance that they hold than the spotlight and the emptiness of chasing turning gold. The soul does not get brighter when the camera finds your face. The value stays the same inside the quiet space. Every soul that ever moved me came from somewhere underground, from the records that the spotlight never bothered to surround. The deepest cuts, the B-sides, the forgotten in the mist. That is the soul that I enlist. When the light eventually finds us, if it ever does it all, we will be the same exact thing we were before the call. Because the shadow soul was never waiting to be seen. You already know exactly what I mean.
Soul in the shadows.
Soul
in the shadows.
Soul in the shadows.
Soul in the shadows.
Let me tell you why the shadows are the place I choose to be. Because the soul is clearest where there is no light to see. No performance for the audience, no version for the show. Just the truth of what you are, when nobody will know. That is where the soul lives, that is where it gets refined. In the shadows where the only judge is your own mind. I built my whole existence in the honest shadow space, and I would never trade my place. My son will have his shadows, every real one always does. The years before the light arrives, the years are just because. I hope he learns to love them, learns the shadows are the gift. The weight you carry proud and never lift. So here we are, still building in the dark without applause. Still putting the authentic soul into the only cause that ever mattered. The music, the frequency, the real. That is exactly how I feel.
Soul in the shadows.
Soul
in the shadows.
Soul in the shadows.
Soul in the shadows.
Soul
in the shadows. Shadow, 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 shadow. Soul in the shadows.
That is the oldest law of this craft, the one nobody taught. The one head elevates the cipher games with others sought. The ones who understood it built the underground right. Not zero sum, not competition, everyone gets light. Been around enough to know what jealousy does to a room. Watch talent disappear because the energy assumed that somebody else succeeded meant there was less for you. That is the lie that killed more music than the industry grew. Because the ones before me laid the frequency down. Every head who ever held a mic and kept it underground contributed the infrastructure that we stand upon today. That is the only honest way, the only real way to play the cipher is a circle. That is not a metaphor. Every time somebody brings it real, it opens up the door a little wider for the next head, for the one behind. Step into the circle, everything you need you find.
I shine, you shine.
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 Yo, presence is not volume. That is what I learned from the great ones. The ones who never had to shout to fill the space that fates ones. Chosen for the frequency, for what they brought without demand. You have to understand that your light does not diminish when somebody else is lit. The cipher has no ceiling, every real head knows it. Real recognizes real, that has always been the deal. That recognition, that connection, that is the real feel. Sat in rooms with heads who carry decades in their bars. Underground life is never famous, never chasing stars. But every word they said was worth 1,000 mainstream songs. Knowing where your real legacy belongs. Not in the charts, not in the streams, not in what the numbers say. In the heads who carry what you gave them every single day. In the cipher that continues when your voice is no longer there. That energy, that frequency, that is what we share.
I shine, you shine.
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 Let me break it to the bone. The oldest law of this culture. The underground survives through generational sculpture. The head who came before you and the one who comes behind are all inside the same frequency, all inside the same mind. The culture is the compound interest of every cipher held. Every late night in the basement, every record that was shelved because the industry refused it. But the head still understood. The underground always would. The underground always could. Oh, this music everything, and everything gets given back. Every bar I ever wrote was laying down another track for someone who comes later and needs proof that it was real. The circle keeps on turning, that is the whole deal. Still building, still believing it is true, that the light that I am carrying is also carrying you. Writing records, underground, the cipher never closed. The oldest law of this, and everybody knows. I shine, you shine.
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 Keeps on turning, underground, underground, Forget me not. Forget me not. Forget me not, that is what the music always said. Every record that I played with someone's voice inside my head, not a ghost, the frequency, life compressed the wax. Forget me not, that is what the needle always asks. I have spent my whole life building things that last beyond the room, the basement and the crate, the late night and the bloom of something that I cannot name but recognize when it arrives. Forget me not, that is how the music music survive. The ones who made the records that I flip are mostly gone, but every time I drop the needle they keep living on. Their fingerprints are in the groove, their breath is in the mix. Forget me not, that is what this culture does, it fixes what the world would otherwise erase without a trace. Puts the nameless back inside a recognizable place. Every sample is a rescue, every chop is a reply. Forget me not, I heard you and I will not let you die. Forget me not, forget me not. Forget me not. Yo, forget me not is what the underground declared when nobody was watching, when nobody cared enough to amplify the frequency below the main. The underground kept building in the cold and in the rain. Toronto in the winter making beats nobody heard. Kansas City in the basement, not a single word from anyone above the ground, just the SP in the crate. Forget me not, they kept on going, that is how we reign. I think about the ones who quit just 1 year before. The thing they were creating found its door. The record pressed in hundreds that was left on dusty shelves. Forget me not, they gave us everything, they gave us themselves. I will not forget a single groove that ever moved my chest. I will not forget the records that I loved above the rest, the ones that hit at 3 a.m. and made the whole thing clear. Forget me not, I keep them with me every year. Forget me not. Forget me not. Forget me not. Forget me not. Let me tell you what forget me not means at this point in my life. It is not about the fame, not about the strife or being overlooked, though that is real and that is true. It is about the thing I make and what it does for you. If one person hears this record on a night that feels too long, and something in the floating groove makes them feel less wrong about the life they're living, less alone inside the dark, then forget me not has done its work, has left its mark. My son will make his mark in ways I cannot see from here. I hope he leaves a frequency that someone holds dear, long after he has moved on to whatever comes next. Forget me not, that is the whole text. BRIGHTEN Records is the document of everything we found, every crate, every sample, every underground sound. Forget me not, we were here, we made the things real. Forget me not, that is everything, that is how we feel. Forget me not. 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 We were here. Forget me not. Forget me not. Forget me not. Forget me not. Keep it real. Keep it real. Always. Yeah. Keep it real is not a slogan, it is a way to live. Not performing what they wanna see, giving what you give. When the room expects a version you ain't felt since 94. Keep it real means walking out. Keep it real means knowing more. Seen too many compromise the thing that made them whole. Trade the rawness for the polish, sell the hunger for the role. And the rich in everything except the thing that matters most. Keep it real is not about the money, it's about the ghost that follows you and what you built. Don't match what you believe. When the mirror shows a stranger wearing something on his sleeve that was never really yours, you borrowed it for shine. Keep it real means what you show the world is also what's inside. I have kept it real and lost, I have kept it real and won. Either way I kept it, that is everything that's done. The music never lied to me, the crate was always true. Keep it real, that is the debt I pay to every bar I knew. Keep it real, real. Keep it real, keep it real. Keep it real, keep it real. Keep it real, keep it real. Always. Yeah. Keep it real in a world that rewards the fake takes guts. The industry is built on image. Everybody fronts. The underground stayed true because it had no other choice. When nobody was listening, that is when you find your voice. Real is not the same as raw. Real is not the same as pain. Real is when the thing you make could only come from your own brain. Nobody else could flip that sample in the way you did. Nobody else could find that record. That is what real is. Kept it real through every season. Kept it real through every shift. When the culture moved away, kept it real. That was the gift. Not stubbornness, conviction. There is a difference there. Keep it real means knowing what you love and keeping it with care. The streets keep it real because the streets don't have a choice. The art keeps it real when the artist keeps their voice. Worldwide the same, the underground the same address. Keep it real is not a flex, it is a moral, nothing less. Keep it real. Keep it real, keep it real. Let me get to what nobody says out loud, but everybody knows. Keeping real gets lonely, that is just the way it goes. The compromise is easier, the middle has more room. But keeping real means sometimes you are standing in the gloom, alone with what you know is right when everyone is moved. When the trend went left and you stayed put, you could not be moved. That loneliness is not a flaw, it is the price you pay for being the thing you said you were on every other day. My son will face that moment, every person does. What keeping real costs something real, that is just what it was. I hope he keeps it, even when the keeping hurts to do. The music will be there for him the way it was for you. BRIGHTEN Records kept it real from the very start, not because it was the smart play, because it was the heart. Underground forever, that is what we chose to be. Keep it real, real. That is the only way, that is the only free. Keep it real, keep it real. Keep it real, keep it real. Keep it real, keep it real. Keep it real, real, real. Keep it real. Keep it real, 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 real. Always. Yeah. Hold your hope.
Still holding on.
Yeah. Yeah.
The world don't ask you if you're ready before it gets cold. Don't wait for permission, don't care how young or how old. I've seen good people freeze from the inside, not the weather. Watched hope leave a room slower than anybody could measure. I know what it feels like when nothing seems to be working, when every door you push on feels like something that's smirking. I ain't gonna tell you that the code ain't real, that's a lie. I'm gonna tell you that the warmth inside don't have to die. Hold your hope like a coat you refuse to leave at the door. Hold it even when the wind is asking for more. The world might take your comfort, might take your certainty. It can't take what you decide to carry internally. I've been through winters that ain't have a single season end. Learned the only heat available was the one I chose to defend. So whatever cold you're walking through, whatever numbing part, hold your hope, hold it closer, hold it right against your heart. In a world so cold, hold your hope.
In the world, so that's the only road.
Everything might freeze, but don't you let it take.
In the world,
So cold.
Hold your hope, for your own sake. I watch my father lose his warmth a little every year. Watch the cold get into places he could never make clear. He never taught me hope in words, he taught me in the trying. Getting up on mornings when his hope was slowly dying. That's the quiet kind of courage nobody puts in movies. Just a man still choosing warmth on days that felt so gloomy. I carry his example even on my coldest nights. Some inheritance ain't money, some is just the will to fight for the version of tomorrow that ain't promised, ain't guaranteed. Hope is not naive, hope is just the thing that we need. When the evidence around us says that we should just give in, that's exactly when your hope becomes the truest kind of win. I ain't asking you to smile through everything that's breaking. I'm asking you to keep one ember lit while you were shaking. That's enough, the ember's enough to build a fire from. And the world is cold, that's the only victory to become. I write this for my son, before he ever meets the cold. Before the world tries to convince him that his hope is old. I want him armored not with anger, armored with the knowing that even frozen ground still has a season meant for growing. I can promise him the world will treat him gentle or be fair. I can promise that his hope is something only he can bear. The responsibility of keeping when the wind is loudest, that's the only thing that makes a man become the proudest. Not the trophies, not the titles, not the things that melt away. The hope that stayed intact through every single freezing day. So if you're reading this and everything feels frozen solid, if the weight of what you're carrying feels heavier than you called it, I need you to remember, even in the harshest foe, that warmth you're carrying is the only wealth you truly own. That's not weakness, that's the bravest thing a person ever does. Keeping something warm alive when everything says it never was. In a world so cold, hold your hope.
in the world, so that's the only road.
Everything might freeze, but don't you let it take.
In the world,
So cold.
Hold your hope, for your own sake.
Hold your hope.
Still holding on.
Hold your hope.
Still holding on.
Still holding on. Still holding on. Hold your hope. Still holding on.
Yeah, they said cash rules everything. I heard it, understood the lesson. But a man can rule his cash and still be broke in his possession. I seen brothers with the chain but empty where the chest should be. I'd rather walk with nothing but a soul that I can't cheat. Money talks but conscience whispers, and I trust the quiet one, the one that's still there talking after all the cash is gone. Now I ain't knocking getting paid, I'm knocking losing who you are. Trading all your principles just to shine a little bit more far. Real wealth is looking in the mirror without needing to look away. Cream taught the block survival, but survival ain't the ceiling. I want more than staying alive. I want peace inside the feeling. Call me old school, call me soft. I'd rather die with soul intact. Cash is temporary, character is what the story keeps. Spirit is the only interest that never goes to sleep. Cash comes and cash goes, that's the oldest law in town. Soul is the only currency that never lets you down. They can take the money, but they can't take what's in me. Soul over cash, that's the only kind of rich I need. I watch grown men lose their whole self, chasing after digits. Sold they voice, sold they name, sold the truth they used to live in. I ain't judging the hustle, everybody's gotta eat, but some hustles cost you more than what they put up on the sheet. My grandfather had nothing, but he had his word intact. Died broke, but died respected. That's a currency, that's a fact. I'd rather leave my son a name that means something on the street than leave him bank accounts attached to a man he couldn't repeat. Every dollar I have made, I tried to make it clean enough to give. That's the only kind of profit margin that I'm chasing after. The one where I can sleep at night without a hollow laugh. The cream was never wrong about the way the world can move, just incomplete about the thing a man really has to prove. Rules everything around you if you let it rule you whole. I'd rather rule my cash and let the money serve my soul. Cash comes and cash goes, that's the oldest law in town. Soul is the only currency that never lets you down. They can take the money, but they can't take what's in me. Soul over cash, that's the only kind of rich I need. I want my son to chase a life that he can look at proudly, not a life that's only loud on the outside, empty inwardly. I want him rich in ways that never show up on a statement. Rich in patience, rich in conscience, rich in quiet contentment. The block taught us survival, but the soul teaches the rest. I done seen the money come and leave just as fast as it came. So here's to everybody chasing paper, chase it with your chest. Just don't let the chasing empty out the parts of you that's best. Who said cash rules everything? The block agreed it's true, but the soul's the only ruler that a man should answer to. I ain't perfect with my money, made mistakes and learned to slow, but I never sold the deepest part of me for any kind of dough. That's the only legacy I'm building, brick by brick, day by day. Spirit over paper, that's the only debt I plan to pay. Cash comes and cash goes, that's the oldest law in town. Soul is the only currency that never lets you down. They can take the money, but they can't take what's in me. Soul over cash, that's the only kind of rich I need. Solo, 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 solo. Still standing. Rain on. Rain on the window looking like the sky is finally crying. Some days you just feel it before you start justifying. Woke up happy, don't know why, don't need a reason. Some days just arrive already dressed for the season. I used to fight it, try to force myself to feel alright. Now I let it sit a minute, let it have its little flight. Feelings pass through faster when you don't block up the door. Rain don't last forever, it just visits nothing more. I put on something warm and let the coffee do its work. Small moves in the morning got a way of loosening the hurt. Not trying to be happy, just trying to be okay. Sometimes okay is further than you think it is today. The gray outside don't have to match the gray inside my chest. I can carry my own weather even when the sky's a mess. So I open up the blinds and let that little light get through. That's the first step out the door before I make it to two.
Walking out, walking through, walking out the gray.
Nothing gonna stop me.
I'm making my way.
Don't need the sun to shine.
Don't need the sun to shine.
For the clouds to break.
I found my exit.
And I'm taking it today. I called a friend up, didn't even say why I called. Sometimes you just need a voice to prove you ain't stalled. We talked about nothing, and that was everything I needed. Sometimes the cure ain't advice, it's just being heated. I took a walk, despite the drizzle on my face. Figure movement might be better than staying in place. The city looks softer with the rain, kinda blurring the edges. Made the whole gray afternoon feel like it had privileges. I ain't rushing my way back to feeling like myself. Some days the exit is a nap, some days it's a song. Some days it's just making it from breakfast until dawn. I'm learning how to sit with heavy without drowning in it. The rain will pass regardless, I don't gotta rush to win it. Progress looks like puddles drying slow beneath the sun. Nobody claps for that, but that's the realest work I've done.
Walking out, walking through, walking out the gray.
Nothing gonna stop me.
I'm making my way.
No, don't need the sun to shine,
Don't need the sun to shine.
for the clouds to break,
I found my exit.
and I'm taking it today. By evening, something shifted, not all at once, just a little. The clouds ain't gone completely, but the weight got more subtle. I didn't need the sun to show up to feel like I made it through. Just needed to remember heavy days don't stay heavy too. Every storm I walk through taught me storms don't last as long as the fear that comes before them, telling me that I'm not strong. I am stronger than the weather, I just forget it sometimes. So I'm writing myself reminders hidden inside of rhymes. Tomorrow might be sunny, tomorrow might rain again. Either way, I know the exit. I've been through this before. My friend, is not about escaping feeling, it's about not setting camp. Feelings visit, they don't live it, they don't hold the only lamp. If you're stuck inside the gray, just know the exit's closer than it looks. You don't gotta force the sunshine, you just gotta keep the door open for whatever's coming. That's enough, you don't need more.
Walking out the grave.
Nothing gonna stop me.
I'm making my way.
No, don't need the sun to shine,
Don't need the sun to shine.
for the clouds to break,
I found my exit.
and I'm taking it today. Rainy day exit.
Walking through.
Rainy day.
Walking through.
Woke up this morning and I felt the air was different. Not waiting on the future like some prisoner or penitent. Right now is the only thing that I can truly hold. The present is the only piece of treasure worth more than gold. I wasted years rehearsing for a day that never came, stacking up regrets and playing yesterday again. Then I caught myself one afternoon just watching the light. Realized the living happens here, not at some finish line. So I breathe it in completely every second that I get. The laughter and the struggle and the dreams I have not met. All of it is happening in this exact alive. This is the only second that I am ever gonna survive. Not reckless with my future, I still handle what I must, but I refuse to trade away my present out of fear of lust for something just beyond me that may never even show. The here and now is everything, that is all I know.
Living for the moment.
Yeah.
Living for the moment.
Living for the moment.
Living for the moment.
Living for the moment. Yo, tomorrow never sign a single promise to your name. And yesterday is just a tale you rewrite all the same. The one thing that is real is what is happening right here. So I plan my whole attention in the present and stay clear. I watch my people drowning in the worry of it all, trading every good day for a wall they build so tall. They cannot see the sunshine that is sitting on their face. I would rather feel this minute fully in its place, not running from the bills or all the things I gotta do, just refusing to surrender every moment that is true to some imagined version of a life I have not lived. This breath right here is everything the universe could give. The realest people that I know are present when they speak. They are not somewhere in next week, they meet you cheek to cheek, fully in the conversation, fully in the now. The presence is a gift and I am learning it somehow. Living for the moment.
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 Living for the moment. Yeah. Let me speak to anybody chasing happiness ahead, like it lives in some arrival, some imaginary thread that you will reach someday and finally get to exhale. The truth is it is here right now, or it will always fail. Joy was never waiting at the top of some career, it was always in the ordinary second sitting here. The coffee in the morning and the people that you love, the simple kind of living that we never get enough. My son shows me the secret every single day he plays, completely in the moment with his uncomplicated ways. No worry for tomorrow, no regret for what is gone, just the pure and total presence that I am building on. So I'm here alive, awake and grateful for the breath, not counting on a someday that arrives the same as death. The only time we ever have is happening right now. I am living it completely and the music shows me how. Living for the moment.
Living for the moment.
Living for the moment. right here, right now.
Living for the moment, 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 moment.
Yeah. I'm legend. Urban legend. Everybody heard it, nobody saw it happen. Passed from block to block like contraband. The story kept on traveling. The city generates its myths, the way it generates its heat. Invisible but undeniable, alive beneath the street. Every borough got its version, every corner got its tale. The kid who disappeared, the building with the hidden trail. The record that was pressed in 40 copies never sold. The cipher that went on for 16 hours in the cold. I have been the urban legend in somebody else's story. The one they talked about in rooms where I was absent from the glory. The name that got attached to things I never said or did. That is how the city works, that is what the city hid. The truth is always stranger than the version that survives. The facts get softened and exaggerated by the lives of everyone who passes it along and adds a piece. Urban legend, that is how the real stories find release. Urban legend. Urban legend. Urban legend. Yo, the underground itself is an urban legend. To the mainstream, they heard about it, never visited. It lives inside their daydream, the basement where the real ones built the thing that fed the culture. The archive that nobody cataloged, no map, no structure. Just the heads who were there and the ones they told about it. Just the records that were made but nobody thought to doubt it. Just the frequency that circulated block to block the city. Urban legend, that is what the underground is. Pretty much invisible to everyone who never knew to look, but permanent as anything that ever filled the book. The ones who were there carry it, they know exactly what it was. Urban legend, that is how the underground still does what it always did. It moves in circles out of sight. It passes through the hands of those who keep it burning right. Not for recognition, not for anything the surface gives. Urban legend, that is how the real culture lives. Urban legend. Urban legend. Urban legend. Yo, let me tell you something that the city never puts in writing. The real ones always find each other. That part is not frightening. It is the opposite of frightening. It is the thing that keeps you. The urban legend of the underground is what completes you. Every head who ever found the frequency by accident, who stumbled on a record or a cipher or a sentiment that changed the way the whole world sounded. That is not a myth. That is the urban legend you were always meant to live with. The city generates these moments and then buries them in noise. But somewhere in the archive, in the bass line, in the voice, there's someone who was there and still remembers how it felt. The urban legend lives in every card that life is dealt. This music is the urban legend that I carry everywhere. The story of a frequency that very few declared out loud, but everybody who encountered it just knew. Urban legend, that is me, and that is you. Urban legend. Urban legend. Urban legend. Urban legend. Legend. Urban legend. Urban legend. Urban legend. Urban legend. Still out there. Urban legend. Yeah. That night. All of the night. And night, the city shows you what it actually is. No performance for the daylight, just the real, just the biz. The ones who move at midnight got a different kind of skill. The underground was always built by those who stayed until the world went quiet and the frequency was clear. At night is when the real ones always seem to appear. The crate was always better when the clock said 3 a.m. The record that you find at night, you never find again. 96, the city had a darkness and a light. The underground was building something serious at night. Every basement, every cipher, every track that got made was made by someone who refused to let the daylight persuade them from the mission, from the frequency, from the grind. At night is when you finally get alone with your mind, and everything that mattered in the daylight fell away. At night, that is when the underground was made to stay. At night, At night is not for everyone, and that was always true. The ones who could not handle what the darkness put them through went home and quiet, took the easy, comfortable way. At night belongs to those who had too much to say it in the daylight, where the rules were set in place, where the system had the answers and you knew your role in space. At night, the cipher opened and the truth could finally breathe. At night is when the underground refused to leave. Rakim understood it. That is why the 18th letter hit. The night was where the God MC was always going to sit and construct the architecture of a style beyond the game. At night is where the legends built the thing that bore their name. I have been a night person since the music found me first. The A.M. hours were the ones that quenched the deepest thirst for something real, for something that the daylight could not provide. At night, that is where I found my stride. Of the night that made this all make sense. The city running hot this summer and the heat was dense. A record that I found that afternoon was calling from the crate. And at night at 3 a.m. I finally heard it straight. The sample and the kick and everything aligned at once. At night the music tells you things it never tells. The stunts of daytime never tells the comfortable, never tells the safe. At night the music gives you everything, the whole complete shape of what you are and what you made and why you kept on going. At night is when the underground was always worth knowing. My son will find his night is 3 a.m. is real. The moment when the music finally tells him how to feel. BRIGHTEN Records was born at night, that much is true. Every record in this catalog was found at 2 or 3 or 4 a.m. when everything was clear. At night, that is when the underground was here. Yo, but Clockwork, everybody moving on a preset track. Wake up, punch and consume, and then you don't look back. The gears were set before you got it, that's the system's art. Running smooth as long as nobody thinks too far apart from what they're told to think, from what the program recommends. The clockwork keeps on turning, whether it begins or ends. 96, the streets already knew what was to come before the algorithm. Still the outcome was the same sum. Somebody built the clock, somebody winds it every day. Somebody profits when the hands keep moving the same way. The ones inside the mechanism rarely see the frame. The gear don't know what's grinding, that's the clockwork's game. Underground was always where the ones who saw it went. Below the gears, below the grind, below the system's intent. Where the music played against the clockwork's metronome. Clockwork 96, the underground was home. Clockwork 96. Clockwork 96. Clockwork 96. Yeah. The clockwork don't discriminate. It processes you clean. It takes the raw material and it fits it in the machine. By 16 you calibrated, by 20 you're apart, by 30 you've forgotten what it felt like at the start. Before the clock, before the schedule, before the roll was set. When you were just a frequency that hadn't found its net. The system hates a loose gear, hates a note that don't align. Underground was every sound that fell outside the line. 96 the city ran on clockwork day and night. The corner had its shifts, the precinct had its oversight. The church, the school, the job, to sell. The clockwork ran them all. The ones who saw it clearly were the ones against the wall. But here's what clockwork never counts on. Consciousness persists below the gears inside the music. In the clenched fists of every head, whoever chose the cipher. Over compliance, clockwork 96, the underground defiance. Clockwork 96. Clockwork 96. Clockwork 96. Let me break the clockwork down to what it really is. It is the distance between what is yours and what is his. The one who owns the clock, the one who sets the pace. The ones who run inside it never see the owner's face. But music broke the clockwork, that is what it always did. Every basement where a beat was made, that's where the real lived. Outside the gears, outside the schedule, outside the frame. The clockwork couldn't process what the underground became. My son faces clockwork, every generation does. The system will attempt to fit him into what it was. I hope the music finds him early, gives him ears to hear the difference between living and just moving gear to gear. Clockwork 96, the title tells the whole account. Before the digital precision, when the analog a cloud, when the underground were parallel to everything above. Clockwork 96, the gears could not contain the love. Clockwork 96. 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 Still running. Clockwork 96. Yeah. Feel the vibe or step aside, ain't no in between. Either you can read the room or you don't know what I mean. This ain't something that you learn, you either got it or you don't. The ones who feel it never ask, the ones who don't ask won't. Born and raised with concrete talking, summer nights stay long. Where the block would school you hard on what is right and what is wrong. Where the cipher was the classroom and the beat was the degree. Where you learn to read the room before the room could read you. Seek, feel the vibe means knowing when to speak and when to fold, when to hold your position and when to do what you're told. Not by anyone, by everything. The energy, the air, the underground is always known. Real heads feel it there. Every city got that pocket where the vibe lives underground, where the real ones congregate around the realest sound. Feel it in the kick, feel it in the bass, feel it in your gut. If you're asking if it's real, then you ain't felt it yet, but feel the vibe. Feel the vibe. Feel the vibe. Feel the vibe. Yeah. Feel the vibe is not a phrase, it is a way of life. The ones who move through any room and cut through it like a knife. Not aggressive, just aware, attuned to what is real. The underground produced that skill, the crate taught us to feel. 40 years of reading rooms and every kind of weather. The vibe in the crowded place, and when you're pulling it together. Alone in the basement with the record and the machine. That vibe is just as real as any stage you've ever seen. Worldwide, the same frequency transmits below the noise. The heads who feel it find each other cutting through the voice. The ones who talk about the vibe have never really felt it. The ones who feel it never need to say a word, they've dealt it. This music is a vibe detector, that is what it does. The ones who nod before the first bar drops, that is because they feel it in the sample, feel it in the way it swings. Feel the vibe, that is the thing that everything else brings. Feel the vibe. Feel the vibe. Feel the vibe. Yeah. Let me paint the picture clear so nobody misconstrues. The vibe is not a fashion, not a trend, not something you choose. It chose you or it didn't, that is just the truth of it. And all the imitation in the world can't make it fit. The streets of every city got a version of this thing. The alley where the cipher lives, the stairwell where they sing, the basement where the real ones go to find what's actually there. The vibe exists below the surface, underneath the air. I have been in rooms where money talk and style walk loud, where everything was polished and performance was the crowd. And I have been in rooms with nothing but a speaker and the beat, where everybody felt it and the room became complete. The second room is where I live, the vibe knows my address. Brighten Records is that room, that is the whole thesis. Feel the vibe, but know the ones who feel it. See everything you try to hide behind the surface, let it be. Feel the vibe. Feel the vibe. Feel the vibe. Yeah. Step inside the smoke, ain't no exit for the weak. SP12 from the chopping every second that I speak. 96 is calling and the calendar don't matter. My words travel further than the year that they were scattered. I'm the navigator through a fall that you can't measure. Taking listeners to places they ain't visited for pleasure. Every bar's a coordinate, every rhyme's a door. Follow me through frequencies you never heard before. I don't need a melody to prove that I'm a master. Bass and drums enough to prove I'm built for the disaster. Some rappers need the sample just to hide behind the beat. I stand naked in the rhythm, that's the truest kind of heat. Time is just a costume that a real skill wears with ease. I'm rhyming out of decades like I'm fluent in the keys. So follow me through smoking out the other side of sound. That's where the truest kind of underground stays found. Follow the bass line, follow it out the door. 96 navigation, never heard this before. I'm the exit and the entrance, I'm the map in the mile. Exodus 96, step into the exile. Exodus 96. Yeah, alright. With the precision of a sampler on the one, every syllable plays careful like the loop had just begun. It's the era where the drum machine was still a mystery. I'm resurrecting all that gritty and analog history. The room is thick with smoke and thick with everything unsaid. I'm the only clear thing moving through the fog inside your head. Every rhyme's a passage through a wall you didn't see. I've been building secret hallways since before you noticed me. This ain't nostalgia, this is architecture built to last. Foundations poured in 96, still standing on the blast. I don't chase the trends, I chase the drums. Original intention, raw and uncut, no decoration, pure and pure attention. Bass alone is a language, drums alone tell the truth. Everything extra is a costume covering the proof. So step into the smoke if you ready for the travel. Watch the whole thing, the whole era unwrap. Follow the baseline, follow it out the door. 96 navigation, never heard this before. I'm the exit and the entrance, I'm the map and the mile. Exodus 96, step into the exile. I teach my son that skill don't need decoration to be felt. Sometimes the barest room is where the truest gift gets dealt. No piano, no guitar, just the pulse beneath the chest. That's the oldest kind of music, that's the truest kind of test. Every civilization started with the drum and with the voice. Everything since then was just an accessory to choice. I'm going back to the foundation, stripping everything away. Just the bass, just the drum, just the truth I have to say. This the sound of a room full of smoke and full of focus, where the only decoration is the skill that I've been showing. Every generation got a version of this exodus, leaving what's familiar, chasing something more courageous. So if you found this room, if the smoke has led you here, know the exit and the entrance both require you to hear, not just listen. Really hear the space between the sound. That's the only place the realest kind of skill gets found. Follow the baseline, follow it out the door. 96 navigation, never heard this before. I'm the exit and the entrance, I'm the map and the mile. Exodus 96, step into the exile. Exodus 96, still traveling. Exodus 96, still traveling. Yeah. 24/7, that is not a complaint, that is a fact. The moment that they handed him to me, I never looked back. 3 a.m. crying and I did not know the reason why. Just picked him up and held him underneath the quiet sky. Nobody wrote the manual for what this really takes. The sleepless nights to worry every decision that you make. Without a blueprint, without a template, just your gut and love. 24/7, that is what this life is made of. I thought I knew what tide was before we came along. I did not know that tide could feel this right, this strong. The kind of tide that you wear like something you have earned. The kind that teaches everything that cannot just be learned. Every cry that woke me up was also waking something in me. Something that the life before this never had the time in. 24/7, that is not a sentence, that is a gift. The weight that you were grateful for, the one you would not lift. 24/7. 24/7. Yo. They said enjoy your fast because it goes before you know. I used to hear that and just nod, now I feel it in my bones. The version of him now is one I will not get again. This morning's laugh, this afternoon, this particular win. So I am present, even when the present is not easy. Even when the patience runs thin and everything feels queasy. Even when I miss the life I had before all this. Because the life I have right now is everything I missed when I was chasing things I thought I needed to feel whole. He was always what was missing, always what my life owed. 24/7 is the tax you pay for that discovery. And every tired morning is a morning of recovery into something better, something slower, something real. The mathematics of a life where now you finally feel that all the things you worry about before don't weigh the same. 24/7, that is how I learned to play this game. Bang, 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 bang. 24/7. 24/7. Yo. 24/7.
24/7.
Let me tell you what this 24/7 really means. It is not the difficulty, it is not the in-between scenes. It is the ordinary Tuesday that becomes extraordinary just because he reached for my hand. That is the real story. That is the one I never expected would undo me. Not the big moments, not the first, just him pursuing my hand in the dark because he wanted me right there. 24/7 means someone always knows you care. I am building something that I cannot see the end of. Laying down a foundation made entirely of love. Every moment that I show up is a brick inside that wall. 24/7, that is how you build it all. My son will have his 24/7 one day too. The call will come and everything he thought he knew will shift the way it shifted for me on that first night. 24/7, son, it is gonna be alright. Right.
24/7. 24/7.
Yeah.
24/7. 24/7. 24/7. 24/7. Always.
This ain't, yeah, this ain't broadcast. This ain't, this ain't broadcast. Yeah, this ain't broadcast. This ain't broadcast. This ain't podcast. Built to outlast, underground, steadfast. Chop the record, make it back in new sound. Reckon premiere. Second, strings cut short, voice cut taut, nothing is bought, everything is taught. 3 layers, 1 grid, new melody amid what the source hid. That's what we did. That's what we did. Chop the soul, make it whole, underground the road. Brighten takes control, vocal cut, no words, just the thirds, consonants, not birds, real heads, not herds. Soul felt the chop, Rotterdam, non-stop, Tokyo, tip-top, Sydney, co-op, string stab, precise, piano, concise, underground, suffice, define it, think twice. Son, here's the chop, doesn't want it to stop. Depth in the name, underground, we claim the frame. Light from below, the source, Brighten records, the force to find the underground. That's our only sound. Direct your own, the film, good life, fulfill vinyl warfare. The drill, define the underground. The real deal, feel it all. The chop, 3 layers, non-stop, Brighten records, the top, underground, don't stop. This is the sound, 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 sound. Yeah. Uptown Saturday. Uptown Saturday. This is what we do. Uptown Saturday. Yeah. Uptown Saturday. Late start. Coffee from the car. Uptown light. Gold, same block, never old. Suit sharp, walk slow. Everybody got a show. Window up, jazz out. That's what life's about. No clock, no boss. Saturdays the sauce crate open. Vinyl, nothing here is final. Breathe easy, sun warm. Far from any storm. It's the life right here. Uptown Saturday. Crystal clear.
Uptown Saturday.
We on the move.
Uptown Saturday.
Deep in the groove.
Uptown Saturday.
Nothing to prove.
Uptown Saturday.
This is what we do.
Uptown Saturday.
We on the move,
Uptown Saturday.
deep in the groove.
Uptown Saturday.
Nothing to prove.
Uptown Saturday.
This is what we
Yo,
do.
yo, hat right, feeling light. Saturday got a vibe, hard to describe. Jazz from the stoop, old heads in a group playing dominoes slow. Watching the city flow, record shop downtown. Best crates in town, dig deep, find gold. Same story, never old. Saturday forever, that's the deal. Everything is real, no rush, no race. Just the music and the space.
Uptown Saturday.
We on the move,
Uptown Saturday.
deep in the groove.
Uptown Saturday.
Nothing to prove.
Uptown Saturday.
This is what we do.
Uptown Saturday.
We on the move,
Uptown Saturday.
deep in the groove.
Uptown Saturday.
Nothing to prove.
Uptown Saturday.
This is what we do.
Uptown Saturday. Yeah. Sun on the shoulder, world getting older, but Saturday stays. Always been this way. Pass it down, sound of the town. Jazz loop forever. Lose this. Never. Rotterdam got Saturdays, so got Saturdays. Every city, same vibe. Hard to describe. Underground, worldwide, nowhere left to hide. Real music survives. Uptown Saturday lives.
Uptown Saturday.
We on the move,
Uptown Saturday.
deep in the groove.
Uptown Saturday.
Nothing to prove.
Uptown Saturday.
This is what we do.
Uptown Saturday.
We on the move,
Uptown Saturday.
deep in the groove.
Uptown Saturday.
Nothing to prove.
Uptown Saturday.
This is what we do.
Uptown Saturday.
Yeah.
We on the move,
Uptown Saturday.
deep in the groove.
Uptown Saturday.
Nothing to prove.
Uptown Saturday.
That's right.
This is what we do.
One time.
We on the move,
Uptown Saturday.
Come on.
deep in the groove.
Uptown Saturday.
Worldwide.
Nothing to
Uptown
prove.
Saturday.
Forever.
This is what we do.
Uptown Saturday. Every Saturday. Uptown Saturday. Yeah. Yeah. We used to keep it local. Kept the truth between the block. What we said on our corner never needed a clock. Just a code between the ones who understood the language. Respecting pain and hope all wrapped up in the same package. But the truth we found in struggle ain't exclusive to our street. Every corner on this earth got a version of that heat. So I ain't whispering no more, I'm sending it out loud. Taking what we learn in silence, giving it to every crowd. Every border that divides us is a line somebody drew. Hurting the same hurts, hoping the same hopes at night. Chasing the same kind of peace beneath the different kind of light. So this the word I'm sending past the block, past the state, past the ocean, past the border, past the lines that separate. If you ever felt unheard, if you ever felt unseen, it's a message for everybody standing in between. It's the truth we kept close. Now I'm sending it out far. Every corner, every color, every border, every star. Respect don't need a passport, love don't need a translation. It's the word to the world, one voice, one nation. I met a brother overseas who never heard my language. Still we understood each other through the rhythm in the sandwich. A silence in the night that said we both know what it's like to build something out of nothing, turn a struggle into light. That's the thing about the truth, it don't care about your zip code. It shows up different clothes, but underneath it's the same road. Hip-hop was never mine alone, it was a frequency tuned into by everybody looking for the same decency. I done seen the culture travel further than the ones who made it. That's the beauty of a truth that's strong enough to cross the water. It don't lose itself in translation, it just gets a little louder. So wherever you're receiving this, however far you are, know the block that raised the message sends you love across the stars. We ain't different in the ways that matter underneath the skin. Open up the door and let the whole wide world in. It's the truth we kept close. Now I'm sending it out far. Every corner, every color, every border, every star. Respect don't need a passport, love don't need a translation. It's the word to the world, one voice, one nation. I want my son to grow up, no borders are just a story. One fluent in the language, underneath the language is the one that lives in music, where the whole world assembles. Every culture got a version of the pain that built the sound. Every culture got a version of the joy we finally found. That's why the culture spread the way it did across the ocean, because the truth inside it matched the universal notion. I don't need the world to speak my language to feel understood. I just need the world to feel the truth the way it should. So this the message going out to every corner listening. Every place the signal reaches, every year this christening. A new understanding built on rhythm more than reason. Love and respect don't recognize a border or a season. So take this truth wherever your journey's taking you apart. Straight from the block, straight from the heart. It's the truth we kept close. Now I'm sending it out far. Every corner, every color, every border, every star. Respect don't need a passport, love don't need a translation. It's the word to the world, one voice, one nation, nation. Word to the world, still sending, still sending.
I ain't the same man that I was a year ago. Little pieces at it slow, that's the only way to grow. Nobody wakes up different, no magic overnight. It's the boring repetition that eventually feels right. I used to want it all at once, impatient with the process. Now I understand the lesson hidden in the progress. The version of myself today can help the one tomorrow. Small deposits in myself, no shortcuts I can borrow. Some days feel like nothing moved, the mirror looks the same, but underneath the surface I'm rewriting my own name. The habits that I'm building now don't show up on the skin, they show up in the moment when I finally get the win. I'm learning how to trust the climb instead of just the view. The mountain doesn't owe me nothing, I owe the mountain too. So I keep on showing up when nobody's watching close. That's the only way I know to turn the whisper to the loudest voice. Day by day, I'm building something real. Day by day, I'm learning how to feel. Ain't about the mountain, it's about the climb. Day by day, I'm getting closer, one step at the time. I watch my son discover things that I forgot were hard. Tying laces, riding bikes, he's rewriting his own chart. He falls down, he gets back up before I even react, teaching me the lesson while I thought I had it back. Growth ain't a straight line, it's a scribble that makes sense in time. He reminds me every day it's fine to not be fine. I wanna be the kind of man that he can watch and learn. So every single day I try to be a slow return. Patience is a muscle and I'm building it in reps. Some days I regress a little, that's still part of the steps. I stop comparing my chapter 3 to someone's chapter 10. Everybody's on their own page, we all just holding pens. So if today looks ordinary, that's exactly what I need. Ordinary days repeated is the only way to succeed. I'm not chasing no finish line, I'm chasing who I become. Bit by bit the picture builds, one piece is never done. Day by day, I'm building something real. Day by day, I'm learning how to feel. Ain't about the mountain, it's about the climb. Day by day, I'm getting closer, one step at a time. Day by day by day. I used to measure progress by the trophies on the shelf. Now I measure progress by the peace I feel with myself. The old me will be shocked to see how quiet I became. Not because I lost the fire, just learned to hold the flame. I'm not the finished product, I'm a project still in motion. Every single sunrise adding one more careful notion. My son is watching closer than he knows he even is. So I keep on doing better just to give the better version his. There's no rush to who I'm gonna be in 10 more years. Just the daily discipline that quiets all the fears. I take the slow and steady over fast and incomplete, building something built to last, one honest heartbeat. So wherever you're at right now, however far behind, keep on adding to the picture, that's the only design. I'm not there yet, I'm still climbing, and I'm making peace with that. Step by step, I'm getting closer, and I'm proud of where I'm at. Day by day, I'm building something real. Day by day, I'm learning how to feel. Ain't about the mountain, it's about the climb. Day by day, I'm getting closer, one step at a time. Day by day, yeah, still climbing. Day by day, 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 still climbing.
Yeah. Some feelings don't come with an exit, they just come to stay. You learn to build a room around them, live with them each day. I think about the version of us that never got to happen. The one that lived in glances, never turned into an action. Longing ain't sad exactly, it's just love without a home. A feeling with no address, always halfway on the phone. I carry it the way you carry weather in your bones. Not loud enough to break you, but you feel it when you're alone. Some people get the end and I just got the almost. Still I wouldn't trade the almost for a love I never lost. There's a kind of beauty hiding in the things that don't complete. The songs you write about somebody you were too scared to keep. So this ain't a love song for a woman that I have. It's the love song for the version I imagine that we had. Sometimes the deepest love is the one that stayed unspoken. That's the kind of heavy that a melody can open.
Longing in love,
Look, living in the same old song.
longing in love.
That's the ache that carries on.
One's the feeling, one's the reason why it stays.
Yeah,
Longing in love.
tangled up in all my days. I used to think that love needed a happy ending to be real. Now I know some of the realest love is just the way you feel, watching someone from a distance wanting nothing but they peace. That's the kind of love that never asked for a release. I love the city I had to leave before I understood it. I love the version of myself that I ain't fully rebuilt it. I love my grandmother's silence more than most people's words. Longing taught me love ain't only romance, it's 100 birds flying toward things you can't always hold on to tight. Some love is a chapter, some love is just a single night. I don't regret the love that didn't turn into forever. Some connections are a season, not a life you have to sever. I write these songs not to relive it, just to honor what it was. A feeling doesn't need a future to deserve a little love. So if you're missing someone that you know you can't call, that longing is just love that didn't get to finish it all.
Longing in love,
Living in the same old song.
longing in love.
That's the ache that carries on.
One's the feeling, one's the reason why it stays. Longing in love.
Tangled up in all my days. My son will love things he can't keep too. That's just how it goes. I hope I teach him longing ain't the opposite of growth. It's proof that something mattered enough to leave a mark. Better to have loved than lost and never loved at all. That's the art. I think of every love that shaped me, even if it left. Grateful for the fullness, even after feeling bereft. It's the kind of song that don't need a happy resolution, just an honest look at love without the false conclusions. Some things you hold, some things you simply let them pass through. Both of them are love, just different ways that love comes true. I ain't chasing closure, I'm just chasing understanding. Learning how to love the ache without demanding. So here's to everyone I've loved and passing on forever. Here's to every feeling strong enough to stay together. With the melody, the memory, the quiet,